Right, let's move to this one. We talk power now. So Eskom has withdrawn its notice to cut electricity supply to Johannesburg. It comes after Electricity Minister Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa mediated between the city and the utility following a dispute over debt. Newzroom Afrika's Ziniko Mhlaba is with us for more. Ziniko, good evening to you. Bring us the latest and highlights that we heard from today.
Good evening, Naledi, and of course we can at this point confirm that there won't be any action taken by Eskom, towards the city of Johannesburg as far as, implementing what it, sent out as a notice of interrupting the power services in the city of Johannesburg. And of course we saw that notice that was sent out publicly by the power utility Eskom, but we also saw City Power's reaction, or the city of Johannesburg reaction, saying that, well, they're not taking those actions which were sent out, or those threats by Eskom, lightly, because it seems as if, Eskom sent out that notice without really engaging or without exhausting all internal processes within government. And when I'm talking about government, I'm talking about maybe bringing in the provincial government or the minister to come and intervene. And of course, that message from City Power also was sent out to the members of the media and the public, and that's what inspired the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Dada, and of course the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, to come in to the city of Johannesburg to try to bring these two entities who are fighting over the bill itself in terms of whether it is accurate or not. And that meeting was requested by Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, and of course he invited the city of Johannesburg Mayor Dada to come and bring these entities together. And of course from that meeting it was then resolved that Eskom must hold that notice, so that at least the two parties are given an opportunity to really engage and really find out what exactly is at the core of the problem. So the Eskom is saying that the city of Johannesburg has not been paying the bill, which is estimated to be over 4 billion rands. And of course, in response to that allegation by Eskom, the City Power is saying that, well, the reason why you are not paying, because we are not really sure if you guys are billing us accurately, because we are not understanding how we got to the 4 billion rands. So therefore we need clarity, which means that we're going to take some legal action so that courts can determine the amount or the value of this bill, which Eskom alleges that it is owed to it by the city of Johannesburg, in this case City Power. So those authorities, the minister and the mayor, came in and had a conversation. From that meeting it was resolved that indeed the City Power must pay the bill, but in the meantime, there must be an investigation that is going to really determine the amount which is owed to Eskom. But let's take a listen to this bite by the minister in terms of explaining and also just really giving perspective in terms of how important the city of Johannesburg is to the country's economy.
It is important that as we resolve the Joburg challenge, we have an admission to make that all other municipalities are faced with the same situation. The challenge with Johannesburg is that it's the biggest of all these entities. So if Johannesburg fails, the economy will fail. So we think that from the Johannesburg solution, we'll find a template that can be exported to other parts of the country, and we can find a much more enduring way of resolving this matter. I must hasten to add that we have already been in conversation with Salga and some of these municipalities. We are trying to move with speed to ensure that we avert a catastrophe, and that catastrophe is a situation where this escalation continues, that is the levels of debt continues to escalate exponentially, undermining Eskom's ability to meet its obligations.
That's the Minister of Electricity, Naledi, there, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, just explaining to us why it is that Johannesburg cannot afford to have any disruptions as far as power supply is concerned, due to the nature and the role that Johannesburg plays in terms of the country's economy. But at this point now, we were told by the authorities that they've decided then to bring in an independent body that is really going to examine and really find out exactly the exact figure figures which must be paid to Eskom, and we know now that that independent body will be giving feedback to the authorities and to the members of the public on the 25th of November, and then from that point, it will be determined by the minister and all the relevant stakeholders in terms of going forward, how are these entities supposed to be engaging in terms of handing each other those bills, and of course, how will the entity, City Power in this case, be held accountable for failing to pay its bill, which are supposed to be paid to Eskom.
And that is essentially the issue that needs to be resolved. But of course, a welcome relief that Eskom having withdrawn its notice to cut electricity supply to Johannesburg. Relief for the residents of Johannesburg. Ziniko, Mhlaba, bringing us the latest where that is concerned.